Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. AB here along with Jack. Jack, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you, man?
Feeling good, feeling great, man. Another off week, still no streams to cash, but we are so close to Hawkeye. Thankfully, yesterday Disney did us a solid and previewed and showcased a few shows that are coming up in the next year. So with Disney Plus Day, we got a lot to talk about on that end, and then I figured we could talk a little Shang Chi since it's now available on Disney Plus as well. So
Yeah.
um, I was following along with Disney Plus Day on social media yesterday, and they kind of just like bit by bit threw out tweets of, oh, here comes She-Hulk and Moon Knight and shows that we already really knew were coming, and then they hit us with some new stuff that we weren't expecting. So you've got the background if you're watching us on
Yeah.
YouTube, but we know that they are going to do a Marvel Zombies show. They are going to do season 2 of What If. That was confirmed. They are going to bring back Agatha Harkness for Agatha House of Harkness. They're doing a series about the hero Echo. And stop it, Siri. Sorry, folks. And they're also going to bring back X-Men, the animated series from the 90s. I just want to say
Oh,
this.
cool.
90s babies, put the word out. We back up.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about first, Jack?
Oh, man. Where do I want to start? Let's start with the live action ones. Let's talk a little bit about Moon Knight and She-Hulk. This is kind of our first glimpse, first teasers
Yeah,
for those. And those are both going to be next year, right?
they are, right. So
Yeah.
in addition to the social media aspect of it, they also put a 15-minute preview of just the shows in general on Disney Plus, so you can check that out. It highlights the shows we've already seen, and then we got some teaser footage for She-Hulk, Moon Knight, and Miss Marvel. Man, I don't know about you, but the footage for all of them look great for sure, and I'm very excited for all of them. Moon
Mhm.
Knight, though, looks spectacular.
Yeah, I feel like I missed out on a little bit of the excitement because I had a really busy day at work, so I wasn't following
Mm.
closely with the social media stuff. But I watched that 14-minute Disney Plus thing twice yesterday. I will. I'm so excited for the new live action shows. Moon Knight looks really cool. I mean, yeah, I think we've got like 30 seconds with Moon Knight and maybe even less with She-Hulk, but I
Even
think
less with
I,
Miss Marvel too, yeah.
I think we're in for a treat for all three of those.
Yeah, we even got a really quick glimpse of Sam Jackson as Nick Fury that'll be in Secret Invasion.
Secret
That's
Invasion.
also coming out next year. So yeah, like they're doing those 4 shows. They said that Miss Marvel is going to be mid 2022. They
Okay.
didn't really say anything else about Secret Invasion or Moon Knight or She-Hulk. Although I think that if they're going to mirror what they did this year, you can
Hmm.
assume there's going to be a January show, a March show, a June show, and then maybe a November show. So I'm sort of thinking this is just me throwing stuff out with based on what we know. She-Hulk is going to have 10 30-minute episodes. So that's one more episode than
Okay.
WandaVision. So maybe She-Hulk is going to be in that late January spot. Then maybe we get Moon Knight in that Falcon Winter Soldier spot, Miss Marvel in the low-key June spot, and then maybe we'll see Secret Invasion because I think that's still filming. That we'll see that here in the Hawkeye spot that we're going to get here in a few weeks.
Hmm.
Just my own
So,
speculation.
so with Loki season 2 and What If season 2, do you think those will be next year, or did they say that
No,
those were later on than that?
they never said anything about when those are coming.
Okay.
And in addition to that, like when I was following it on social media, they didn't do anything for Loki or Armor Wars. So it leads me to believe that those are just not coming for a while. I would say probably 2023.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I was wondering about that because I feel like we're sort of conditioned to think like season 2 would be the year after, the
Yeah.
first season, but not really the case. The way that production is different with the streaming services.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see a show like Stranger Things. I think the first 2 seasons were in 16 and 17, and then season 3
Sounds
was
about right.
19, and now season 4 is 2022, right? So like sometimes, yeah, these shows are just gonna take, and COVID probably played a part in that too. But sometimes these shows just are gonna, unfortunately, not be year after year. Which is a little unfortunate. But I mean, in Loki's case, I'm sure that'll probably be around Ant-Man, Quantumania in 2023.
Okay.
Because we know
Yeah.
Kang is going to be in that, right?
Right. Right. So they almost have to wait then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they could take all the time they need. I just want a good show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And there's so much to look forward to. And I think that when you look at the 2022 slate, pending stuff getting delayed, like we had this year, Miss Marvel was supposed to be this year and it got pushed back. But that's a strong slate of shows. And then that still leaves Ironheart, this Echo show, Agatha, like you said, Loki season 2. There's that Spider-Man show. X-Men's coming out in 2023. There's still a ton on the slate out of aside from what we're going to get next year. So
Yeah. So let's talk about Echo for just a sec, because
yeah,
Echo, Ironheart, and Armor Wars are three that I really don't know anything about. Armor Wars and Ironheart, I can kind of make guesses. Echo, I have no idea, no clue what Echo's about.
Echo is a character, a hero, female hero that is tied to Daredevil. She doesn't
Okay.
really have any superpowers. She's more just like acrobatic gymnast, hand-to-hand combat. And in the comics, she was Ronin for a bit, who Ronin we saw as Hawkeye in Endgame. So she took that mantle for a little while. She also had the Phoenix Force for a bit too. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with her. We'll see if Daredevil gets introduced in the MCU through Spider-Man. A lot of rumors that we might see that. But Echo is tied to Daredevil, so maybe that's the key to getting Daredevil kind of back in the mix in the MCU.
I wonder if the original tie-in will be Hawkeye though.
So
Echo.
Echo is going to be in Hawkeye.
Oh, okay, perfect. That's awesome.
So she is about to be here.
Okay, cool. I wonder if it'll be like a rival to Kate Bishop.
Maybe.
That'd
Well,
be
again, she took up the mantle of Ronin in the comics, and we saw the last time we saw Hawkeye, he was Ronin. So maybe there's a little bit of a tie in there. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do?
Yeah, and we've seen clips of Kate Bishop with kind of a Ronin-esque mask.
Exactly. So maybe Echo has ties to whatever villain ring that Hawkeye and Kate Bishop are facing, or who knows. But we do know that she will be in that show, and she'll get her own show. My personal fanboy hope is that if we don't see Daredevil and Spider-Man next month, he does pop up at maybe the end of Echo as like a fun little cliffhangy type deal.
I gotcha. Yeah. So let's talk about. Let's shift gears and talk about. Do you want to go X-Men or do you want to go Spider-Man freshman year?
Let's go Spidey real quick.
Yeah. So I mean, unless you know more than I do, the clip that was in the 14-minute Disney Plus thing, it was literally just the title, and then I think part of it ripped off, and you got to see a little animated Peter Parker.
Yeah, so I think it's supposed to use the 60s style animation for the actual full-on show, but that was just like a small little.
I think that's super creative.
I think so too. It's supposed to definitely be MCU canon. It's a prequel to Homecoming, so it'll be the first sort of year that we see Peter Parker take up the mantle. So I'm sure we'll see the spider bite. We'll probably see Uncle Ben eat dust, and who knows what else we'll see as far as like villains or whatever they're going to do. But I think it's exciting that they're doing Spider-Man content and putting it on Disney Plus. It's really encouraging.
Yeah, I think it's a cool way to do it, like a prequel to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, right? Because I mean, the way that we picked up on his life, in Civil War, he was already Spider-Man. He was already, a hero in his own right, and had his details ironed out, right? I mean, you knew Aunt May already. You knew everybody knows Spider-Man's story, so we kind of just we pulled him into the Avengers so quickly. That it'll be cool to kind of unravel some of his past in this, iteration of Spider-Man.
I agree. Yeah. And I like the way that they introduced Spider-Man in Civil War, because it was just, we don't need it, right? We don't need to know Spider-Bite and all that. Just throw him right in. But now we get to explore that, and it'll make for some fun content, especially for us to talk about. And
absolutely.
Any spider content that they want to do, I think this will set a fun precedent. I love Spider-Man, but
Same.
I feel such a way about Sony having the rights to Spider-Man and that whole world.
Yeah.
And so I think this is going to set a nice precedent to get more Spider content to be on Disney, set in the MCU, because it could be confusing for people. I know there's a multiverse, but we've got the Morbius movie coming out. We've got the 2 Venom movies.
Right.
Sony's trying to do their own thing, and Marvel's trying to do their own thing. And I'm such a nitpicky person. I want everything to be under one umbrella. And so
Hmm.
this, I think, sets a nice precedent that maybe we can start to see more Spider content, and at least make us feel at ease that there was a few years ago there was that fear that they weren't going to keep using Spider-Man in the MCU, and of
Right.
course they worked that out. So this puts us at ease that maybe that's not going to be the case at all, at least for the
Hmm.
foreseeable future.
Yeah, and I mean it's kind of the same with X-Men, right? Because I mean X-Men hasn't really been in the. I mean X-Men hasn't been at all in the
No.
MCU. They I mean they almost committed to not doing it and called mutants miracles instead. They could have went a whole different route with that, and now they're kind of tiptoeing back into, why not? Why not just do everything, right? I
I
mean,
agree. Yeah, and so that's one of the things that I'm really excited about seeing this X-Men series is it's definitely their first little bit of, all right, we know you're excited for X-Men. Here you go. Here's
yeah.
something. And it's also like fun for us 90s babies or the kids that grew up watching that show to see a
Hmm.
continuation of that. I'm really
Yeah.
excited for it. And I think that, yeah, it'll be a nice little teaser before they really bring in the live action part of it.
Is that the only one on? I'm sorry if you don't have like a list in front of you, but I think that's the only one that was announced. That's not going to be MCU, right? We've got
Yeah. So everything
Spider-Man
else
freshman
is,
year, Echo, Agatha, Zombies, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight. What if I am Groot? I don't know anything about I am Groot. Is that going to be like a baby Groot show? I haven't done any research into that. I wonder if that'll be MCU or if that's just some fun little shorts.
it probably a little bit of both. I don't know much about it outside of, yeah, it's supposed to be Baby Groot. I don't know. I think like
Okay.
out of everything that they have announced so far that we know for sure is coming, that is at the bottom of my excitement.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not excited about it. I just don't know what it. I don't know what their angle is with this one.
Exactly. I will give Marvel the benefit of the doubt. I didn't know
Sure.
what if was going to be. Turns out it was great, and it's going to have a second season. They're spinning off into zombies. So
Heck yeah.
if they pull that off, I'm sure they'll pull off Baby Groot.
Yeah. I wonder if they had. I wonder if they had Marvel Zombies in the works before the What If episode aired,
That's a good
or if it
question because I do know that this is supposed to take part in that universe. It's a spinoff of that episode. So I don't know if it's
really.
going to pick up directly where that episode left off, but it's that world. So it's probably going to be animated the same way.
Yeah.
It's set in the what if little corner of the MCU. So yeah, I would imagine that maybe they did see maybe they had plans or like hopes that it would take off, and then when everyone liked it so much, they said, okay, for sure, we're gonna. But I know that
Yeah.
they have talked in the past about doing a zombies type thing, and
Hmm.
through the beauty of Disney Plus,
Yeah.
now they can.
Zombies isn't a new idea for the Marvel universe for sure.
It's a whole
Um,
storyline in the comics. Yeah,
Another, important spinoff that we should talk about is Agatha House of Harkness, and that one I'm sure they didn't have prospects of before the success of WandaVision, because I mean she was such a fan favorite character. I think that
man.
is why I think that's the reason for this show.
I think that's pretty fair, actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure they always wanted to do Agatha, but maybe they didn't think that she would be as popular. Or she's a fairly important character in the comics, from what I understand. She has some sort of a connection to the Fantastic Four and other characters like that. So I'm sure that they wanted to have her in there, but having her own show, I don't know that they probably would have done that if that wasn't so successful in WandaVision.
right.
But I'm
Do you
excited
think
because Catherine Hahn's phenomenal.
she's so great, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think prequel for House of Harkness?
I hadn't really thought of that. I guess my assumption was it was going to be a continuation, but that probably makes more sense.
Yeah, I think it'll be either a prequel in her like Salem witch days, or it'll
Mm,
be a prequel like before. and just like have a story set, pre WandaVision that leads her to Wanda at the very end of the season or something like that. But I don't think that we'll get a continuation of her story. I think maybe her story is done. Maybe, I don't know.
I
Even
disagree with
saying
that.
that, yeah.
I
Even
disagree with
saying that,
that.
I'm like, maybe not.
I
She's so
I
beloved
I
already.
don't I don't think that we've seen the last of her in the current timeline. So if this
Okay.
show is a prequel, I definitely think she'll pop back up. I think it depends on where we're at in the MCU by the time that show comes out. Because
Okay.
it's not confirmed for anything. I mean,
Right.
maybe it comes out 2023, but I'm almost wondering if there's going to be some Fantastic Four tie-in,
That'd be cool with that. I think that'd be
right?
great. I think that'd be a
Yeah,
good way to tiptoe into it, right?
I think so. I think so. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a cool character. I don't know much about her backstory from the comics, to be honest. It doesn't seem like she is a full-on like villain. I think maybe there's like shades of villainy, but I thought that she was also sort of an ally as well to some of the heroes. Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, so I think we both did a little bit of Googling when she popped up in WandaVision, which I've since forgotten, a lot of. But
Yeah.
I just remember, her being, a magic connection to a lot of different characters and a lot of different corners in the
Yeah.
MCU. So they could really do a lot with this show. They could introduce whatever they needed to for the future, to be honest with you.
I agree. Yeah. I think it depends on where we're at in the MCU by the time that show comes out. But I'm definitely curious to see what they do with it. That was a pleasant surprise. I didn't know they were going to do a show for Agatha. So good on them for that.
Yeah, for sure. So do you want to educate me on Armor Wars or Iron Heart? I really don't know much about them.
Yeah. I mean, not much has been revealed yet. Armor Wars is definitely going to be a roadie movie, a show.
Okay.
It's supposed to explore Tony's tech falling into the wrong hands.
Okay.
That show's probably a 2023, 2024 show. I think it's in pre-production. So not much more is known about it outside of that.
Okay.
Ironheart is she's a teenager that is like an MIT student studying for engineering, super brilliant, super smart. We're actually going to first see her in Black Panther 2 next
Okay.
year. So that'll be her introduction. And then, so yeah, she develops her own Iron Man suit. In the comics, like Tony Stark endorses her as Ironheart and all that. Of course, he can't do that now, but so it's probably just the way to continue
I
Iron Man.
wonder if she was one of the students in the crowd that got the Stark grant in Civil War.
Well, I don't think so because
No?
you got to remember that was 2016. Now we're technically in 2023. She's a teenage kid, so
True, but she could have been gone for 5 years.
she
She could
could
have gotten
have.
blipped.
Yeah.
They could spin
Again,
it.
she's supposed to be like a 15, 16-year-old. But
Hmm.
I guess she could have. I guess.
I don't
Maybe.
know.
It's a thought. Yeah, I guess she could have been blipped. That's a good way to explain it.
Just
We'll see.
brainstorming.
Maybe. I don't know
Yeah.
if that would really track that well because I guess it depends on how old they make her, and even with the blip, like that was 2 years prior to the snap.
Right.
It just depends on how they could. I don't know. Maybe it's a good theory. It's a fun theory.
Yeah. Yeah. Just spitballing.
Yeah. But yeah, I
Um,
don't know much else about her outside of that. I mean, I know she just has an Iron Man suit that she developed, and she's supposed to be super smart. So it'd be cool to have another Iron person like
sure. Yeah.
in the
Continue the
MCU.
legacy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Maybe she'll
Yeah.
be a candidate for the Young Avengers whenever they do that.
Maybe. Maybe. I'm surprised well, I guess I'm not surprised they didn't mention anything about a Dark Avengers or a Young Avengers during this. That kind of seems like its own announcement
Those will
down
be.
the
I don't. I
road.
don't think we're. If I don't think we're going to see that stuff for a while. I think that
Really?
we're probably 3 to 4 years away from that. I would be honest with you. Yeah,
Okay.
because I don't think that that's like the major crossover they're going to do. I feel like the next major crossover will be another Avengers movie.
Hmm.
And there's like so much already going on, right? Kang is out there, Celestials,
Right.
Who knows what's going to come with Spider-Man and the Multiverse of Madness. It feels like there's so much going on, and I would say those are also probably movies and not shows.
Sure. Okay.
So, well, they're coming though. I personally feel like we're probably 3 to 4 years away from anything like that.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got on this list? Secret Invasion. Anything you want to say about Secret Invasion?
Looking forward to it. I'm more curious about that than I think any of the other shows. There's so much that we don't know about it. We know that
Right.
Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn are going to be in there.
Yeah.
Uh, we've seen many other big name actors, actresses confirmed for it, but no real roles are disclosed. It's a bigger story from the comics. So I'm a little surprised they're doing it as a show and not including a lot of the heroes that we
Yeah.
know of, at least. This one is definitely a Marvel show that is being kept under wraps, and I don't really know what to expect or what they're going to do with it. Because the Skrulls have so far been good. They've been,
Right.
they haven't been evil villains like we've known them in the comics. So maybe there's a multiversal thing that pops in, or who knows what's going to happen. I don't know what to expect from it, but I am looking forward to it because of how secretive, no pun intended, it's been.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm excited about it too, is because we've gotten just breadcrumbs for this one. I mean, we got at least 30-second trailers for the rest of them, and then Secret Invasion's like, here's Sam Jackson with a beard. We're
Yeah,
not telling you anything.
yeah, and they're still filming it, but we definitely didn't get anything, and compared to She-Hulk and Moon Knight and Miss Marvel, and there's just so much we don't know about it.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to X-Men '97
That's
because
probably that's probably the one I'm most excited about on this list.
I would say Moon Knight for me, uh,
Moon Knight.
but then I would say X-Men. Yeah, just because I love X-Men so much. I'm really curious to see I mean, are they going to keep the same team? Are we going to get Gambit and Jubilee and Beast and all those, or?
I mean, the way that I read about it, like that's what it seems like. It seems like they want to pick up the story right where they left off.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wonder how updated the animation style will be.
I think that it'll be a little crispier, but I think they're gonna try to make it look like the
Yeah,
'90s show, right? I mean, that's the vibe that I got.
I think it'll be a high def version of that. I hope that they clean it up a little bit because as much as I love that X-Men show, that's the one I grew up with. It's why I love the X-Men
Yeah.
so much. It doesn't. I don't think it holds up as well as some would hope. I mean,
Okay.
just the animation itself is yeah, it's a little clunky. I think some of the
Yeah.
voice acting is a bit off. It has
I
a
don't think you'd
weird,
be able to show it to a kid today.
maybe,
But like,
maybe not.
if
Yeah,
you watched it back then and you get reintroduced to it, just like what's happening,
yeah.
I think you'd be all right.
I
Yeah,
yeah, I definitely want to binge through it before this comes out, just to kind of
I want to too. Yeah,
yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, I mean, I have such fond memories watching it, and
yeah.
it's
And
such a
I've
classic
never
show.
watched it beginning to end. So
Really? Wow. I don't know if I've
yeah,
seen every episode, but it was a staple in my childhood for sure.
yeah. Most of the time that I try to watch it beginning to end, I get somewhere. I get stuck somewhere like halfway through the first season, and then I start watching Spider Man because I mean that's it just makes me want to watch Spider Man so bad. It's such a great show.
Yeah, man. The '90s really had so many great animated shows. I mean, the
Hmm.
Batman show, the Superman show, those
Hmm.
two. I know I didn't even realize this, but there was an Iron Man show that's on Disney Plus. There was a Hulk show. There was a Fantastic Four show. Like they went hard with those animated shows as kids.
Yeah,
In the
for sure.
'90s.
Hmm.
Yeah, so this is fun. I'm excited about it. It's our first little bit of X-Men tease. Hopefully, we won't have to wait much longer for more X content after this.
Yeah. I'm all for it. I love the X-Men so much.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. I'm glad that they really kind of teased some stuff. I mean, some of the stuff we knew was already coming, but it was nice to get footage for She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel. Fun to see some other stuff that's coming up. The Zombies season 2 of What
Yeah.
If, Agatha. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
for
check.
and around here, around Streamcatchers, that's only half of it. I mean, there's tons of Star Wars stuff coming too.
I know people seem to be upset that they didn't do a Kenobi trailer, which I wasn't expecting at all. So
It's got to be soon though, right?
I don't think so. I think we got a while to go.
For a trailer?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because
Oh man,
it's not like it's coming anytime soon. I mean, look at we just got the
I guess
Book of
that's
Boba Fett
true.
trailer a week or two ago.
That's true. Yeah,
They
and
are,
that seemed like a long wait for that too.
yeah, yeah. And that's just kind of how they've been doing the Disney Plus trailers. I feel WandaVision didn't come until a month before. Hawkeye didn't come to a month or two before. Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier, same thing. What If, same thing. They're
Yeah.
different than
Did you
movies,
see?
right?
Did you see they added like a 20-minute under the helmet Boba Fett thing on Disney Plus?
I did. I haven't watched it. Have you?
I haven't watched it yet. I think I'm going to.
Yeah, I think that'll be definitely something to watch before Book of Boba Fett comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I love that they do that. To me that's the best thing about these streaming services, especially like Disney Plus, where it's such a niche Star Wars Marvel thing, where they can do
Yeah.
these behind the scenes little things that help just add to the mystique of the show. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
I haven't watched. They've been putting like an hour-long special of like behind the scenes for each Marvel show. I haven't watched those yet, but I think I'm going to eventually. Now they've
I
got
haven't
one
seen them either.
for each. I don't know if they did one for What If, but they've got one for Loki. They've got one for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and they've got one for WandaVision.
Oh, okay. That's something to check out then. I haven't seen any of those. I did watch they did those for Mandalorian.
Yes, and I
So I
haven't watched
watched some of
those
those.
either, but I'm curious about them.
They also have, I think it's a series of like 5 to 10 episodes where it's like a round table discussion of directors. Like Favreau's on there, Taika Waititi's on there, several directors, and they're just
Okay.
kind of talking about making Mandalorian. I think Bryce Dallas Howard, she directed one of the episodes, one in each
Right.
season of Mando, season 2 and 1. She's on
Hmm.
there. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So check it out if you haven't yet, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm definitely going to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, do you wanna pivot and talk about Shang Chi for a little bit? Just came on Disney
Yeah,
Plus. We both
yeah,
watched it
yeah.
last night.
I watched. Yeah, I watched it. Did you watch in the IMAX enhanced version?
I think so, but I don't know. I didn't know if it was any different.
Did you have the bars up top and below? No.
No, I didn't. So
So
I
you
guess I
probably had
didn't then.
yeah. No, you had. So you had the IMAX enhanced. The
Oh,
IMAX
I
enhanced
did.
just shows more
Okay.
on screen. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
yeah,
don't know if
man.
I realized the difference while I was watching it.
No, I mean, they just added that for several of the movies.
Hmm.
Black Widow has the IMAX enhanced, both Infinity War and Endgame. The original Iron Man does. Doctor Strange. Several of the movies now have the IMAX enhanced on there, so that's pretty cool.
I'd have to see them
Um,
like back, like side by side to really.
they show it. They show it on
Okay.
the
Cool.
yeah. So
Very
if
cool.
you go to I mean, this is just for my Apple TV because everyone's different. But if you
Hmm.
go to the video or the movie itself, there's like a versions spot
Okay.
that you can slide over to, and then you go down and it'll show you the theatrical release and then the IMAX. And the IMAX, yeah, it's definitely like there's so much more that you see
Cool.
on there. So
Cool. I will. I
um,
will. I'll check those settings out. That's
yeah, for
interesting.
sure. It was cool. And but so Shang-Chi,
Hmm.
when we did our countdown, I had that like what 15th, I think. I mean, it was pretty high up. I
Hmm.
don't think I enjoyed it as much on the rewatch.
I I feel about the same this time as I did the first time. A little lukewarm about it. There's stuff that I liked about it. I think that they had a lot of cool, like grounded kung fu scenes, and then towards the end, towards the late game with the soul sucking demon and the dragon and I don't know. It's a little much for me, but you know, like you like to say, the ground level of Marvel is pretty damn good, So I
Yeah,
enjoyed it. I
it,
liked
it is.
the surprise appearance of Wong. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in there. I just the movie as a whole, it's all right. It's towards the bottom on my list.
I think that's pretty fair. I mean, it is a good movie. There's a lot that I like. The action sequences are all awesome. I like Shang-Chi, the character. It's a
Hmm.
little curious that he has the 10 rings. I mean, that's definitely a deviation from the source material. But they are an interesting power. And I guess it's sort of,
Yeah.
if you have just a guy that just fights. That's cool for his world, but when you put him in these big battles, these big crossover battles, it's like, all right,
Yeah, I
you sit
mean,
over
look
there.
at look at Hawkeye.
And
You
Black
know,
Widow,
in the
yeah,
Avengers, you know, I mean, it's a different. You know, they fight very differently. You know.
exactly. Yeah. So
Hmm.
I think that my biggest problem with the movie, I didn't think the acting was all that believable. I think that I know you're a fan of Aquafina. I didn't
Hmm.
really think that she was very convincing. I think Simu Liu, or I'm not sure how you say his name, the guy that actually plays Shang Chi, you can tell he's
Hmm.
pretty fresh. I know he's not a seasoned actor, so I mean, I'm sure he'll get better as it goes. But some of his delivery wasn't very convincing either. I don't think a
Hmm.
lot of the comedy really landed for me either. I thought it felt like a very safe, formulaic Marvel movie that is good. There's a lot
Hmm.
to like in it, like you said. It's definitely something that I'll continue to watch when I binge through the MCU. It's just not a. I don't think it's a top tier Marvel movie by any means.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think that the strongest point the movie has was its choreographed fights, right? Like
Yeah,
it's martial arts. Like that's where this movie really shined.
yeah, absolutely, for sure. And so for that reason, it's definitely worth watching. I mean, it's a visually beautiful movie, although a lot of the CGI is pretty obvious, which always takes me out of it. But it is what it is.
Hmm.
Um, but I like that character. The fight sequences are a lot of fun. Whenever they do finally do a Shang Chi 2 and 3, I'm looking forward to what they do with those. The
Hmm.
post credit scene was really cool with Bruce Banner and Captain Marvel, and
Yeah.
really want to see how they take the Ten Rings from there, because it's supposed to be right. They're super old. They don't know where they came from. They're calling something to Earth.
Right.
It's definitely creating an interesting plot point. So there's a lot to, I think, be excited about, but it's just like a fine introduction movie, I thought.
Yeah, at the time with that what you were talking about, the beacon or whatever that's in the Ten Rings that's going off,
Yeah,
I thought that that would maybe be an Eternals tie-in, just because they talked about it being like an ancient device, you know,
yeah.
older than 1,000 years or whatever. But you know, now that Eternals has come out, you know, I don't think that anymore. But I'm trying to think of what it would be. I'm drawing a blank. You know.
Yeah, I have no idea. And maybe there is a little bit of a celestial thing tied in there. Who knows?
Maybe
Maybe it's Galactus or Kang, or who knows? It could be anything really.
Mephisto.
He's back. Mephisto. Oh my gosh. Sticking on that, like if whenever they do finally bring Mephisto in, it's going to be so like it's either going to be really
I almost
underwhelming or
hope
like
they
there he
don't.
is.
I almost hope they just foreshadow it forever, just in 100 different ways, and then they never make it happen.
Just yeah. Oh God, what a funny little
A
thing.
big middle finger to the to the Mephisto fan base.
Well, I just thought that it was super funny when Loki came out. There's that shot in the church in France, I think it was, with Mobius and that little kid. And when you see
Yes, with the
the
stained
stained,
glass.
and it looks like a devil, but it actually looks more like
Yes,
Loki than anything. But that was
yeah,
the funniest thing, because I was like, oh no, are they? People are gonna think they're talking about Mephisto again. Oh no.
yeah,
But
so
yeah,
funny.
Shang-Chi, it was fine. It's
It's all
okay.
right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's an okay movie.
Would
So
you take that one or Eternals?
I would take Eternals,
I
actually.
think I would
Yeah.
too. I think I would too.
I'm shocked that Eternals, we talked about it to death last week, but I'm shocked that it had such low ratings.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I think the thing that I like to compare the two, I just said it, Shang-Chi was a very safe, formulaic Marvel movie that we've just had
Yeah,
over and over and over. And it works. They're all good. You get your laughs, you get your action. It's a safe movie. But Eternals was ambitious. It tried new things. It was
I
a
agree.
different tone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that they keep doing that moving forward.
Yeah, I don't think Eternals was perfect by any means, but I think that with it
Right.
being such a cool deviation from the Marvel formula. I think that was
Yeah.
really interesting to see. And I was, like I said, when we talked about it, I was interested the entire movie. I
Yeah.
was entertained the entire movie. I mean, that's what I'm asking for when I buy a movie ticket, right?
Sure. And I think that I was entertained with Shang-Chi when I first watched it, but as far as like a rewatch goes, there are no more surprises. You're just watching a movie that you know how it's going to happen and where it's going to go. So like the
Yeah.
surprise element is gone, and then you're still sitting there with the not so great acting and the kind of mediocre comedy. And so
Yeah.
it is what it is, I think. But
So, okay, let me push another either or your way. Would
okay.
you go? Would you go Black Widow or Shang Chi? Which one's a better movie?
I might want to watch Black Widow again before I answer that.
Okay.
Because I only watched it the one time. I might actually, just going off of memory, I would probably say I might go Black Widow over Shang-Chi, which
Yeah,
would
I would
really
too. But
drop it a lot in my list because Black Widow I didn't have very high either.
I think we're gonna have to revisit our lists in a year or so.
That's probably fair, actually. I think, yeah, if we get another 6 week break next year after we've had
Yeah, let's do it.
Spider-Man and all these movies, yeah, we might as well, right? Revisit it,
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it
I
an
think so. I
annual
think that'd be
thing.
fun. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't
All
have
right,
much else to
man.
say on Shang-Chi.
I'm trying to think. It was good. I didn't notice. I didn't notice what you're talking about the acting. If I was watching with a pretty close full eye, I'm trying to like reimagine some scenes in it because like what you said didn't surprise me, but I also didn't notice it when I
Yeah.
was watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, you could tell that he is a fresher actor. And
Hmm.
I don't know,
Which
you're a
isn't
bigger
necessarily a
Aquaman.
bad thing. I
No.
like when a big franchise introduces somebody as a character rather than like pulls from a pool of already super famous people for
Right. Well, that's what they did
characters.
with Thor. Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston
Hell
were
yeah.
not what they are now, right? They were brand new. So,
Right.
and they are very much different now compared to when they were. They look much
Yep.
more comfortable and in their characters now than they were in Thor 1. So I'm
Yep.
sure the same is going to be the case for I don't want to say his name incorrect. I need to learn how to say it, but I think Simu
The
Liu.
Shang
Simu Liu.
Chi
Yeah.
actor. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I do think that he is likable. I think that he works, at least, especially in the fighting sequences, and I want to see more of him. I just, for a first outing, it was just okay, I thought.
Do
But
you think his
hey,
sister will be the villain of the next one?
I think so. I think that's kind of what they
I think,
implied.
yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. I think that would be a more grounded story, which would make me more interested in it too.
I think so. I agree. Yeah, it'll be much more martial arts focused. We'll see.
Much less
How,
fantasy.
yeah, we'll see kind of how she neutralizes the 10 rings if he still has them. Who knows
Hmm.
what they're going to do with that. But by the time it comes out, if he still has the 10 rings, how she neutralizes that. Because, yeah, on paper, he's definitely stronger than she is now,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I wish we
he'll have
had
to,
some sort of inkling about what she wanted, what her agenda was, you know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, they didn't really give us a whole lot of that, but I'm okay with that. You got to leave us wanting more. And
True. You're right. Yeah,
I want
you're right.
I want the surprise. I want the fun. I don't want to know everything before I watch the movie. That's just me though.
Yeah. No, no, I get it.
Well,
Well,
speaking of that, I do have another fun little
sure.
nugget to share with you.
Let's do it.
It was probably announced maybe an hour or so ago that we are going to get the Spider-Man trailer on Tuesday night.
There is going to be another Spider-Man trailer
Another
then.
Spider-Man trailer a month away. That is so unusual, especially
Yeah,
for
I'm kind of
Marvel.
surprised. Are you going to watch it?
Yeah, I might as well because I'm not going to be able to not, and people will be talking
Yeah,
about it. So
you're
if
right.
they show Toby and Andrew, that'll just be talked about to death. So it's not like it'll be a surprise. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
benefit of not watching it is to know as little as possible. But if they're
But
in
it's
the
going to be all
movie,
over the place. Yeah, it's going to be
it's
all
going
over
to
the
be
internet.
everywhere. Yeah. So
There's no way you could shelter yourself from that.
yeah, and I've already seen so many little things here and there that I won't say on the podcast that I don't know. I still am not convinced that they are in the movie. I just am not.
Okay.
But if they are, I don't know if I'm not convinced because I'm actually not convinced, or I'm just telling myself they're not in it so that I can be as surprised as
To manage your
possible.
expectations.
Yeah, because that's the thing, and that's like Feige has said that.
Hmm.
Tom Holland has said that. They're like, listen, like you're gonna get the movie you're gonna get. Don't
Yeah,
hate this if they're not in it because we
right.
never said they were gonna be in it. So
So I think what would be the smartest move for them to do if they want to include Toby and Andrew Garfield in the movie is to have them in in a scene or a post credits thing. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to. I don't think you need a team up battle like a grand finale of three Spider-Man fighting villains at the end. I really don't think you need that. This is Tom Holland Spider-Man. Let him be Spider-Man. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
also, you are introducing a multiverse, so it would be very, very cool to pay homage to the greats that came before, right? And
yeah,
have that kind of scene, have a funny, like, pointing at one another scene, or like just have some quips, have some dialogue between the three of them.
yeah.
Maybe have a little like, oh, this is Dr. Octavius, this is a little introduction into the the Spider-Man's past, the different the villains from the different Spider-Man movies. Like, why not do something like that and then let Tom be Spider-Man and fight him.
I think I agree. I don't think you need them in a big final battle, but it is going to be the Sinister Six. I mean, they're all. He's going to need some
Yeah.
backup, right? At some point, he can't take them all on by himself. So, I want to see it. I think it would be great, but I don't. You don't need it. You could get away with just doing Tom Holland, and maybe he does team up with Doctor Strange. I think I would honestly be almost more excited if we just got Daredevil, if we got all the
Oh
old Spider-Man,
man. Yeah.
because
See,
they're actual
all
like
of these different ideas I'm excited about though. So any direction that you
yeah.
push this movie in, I'm super stoked about it.
That's how I feel about it. I want to manage my expectations and I want to just be happy with whatever we get because I don't want to sit down and watch a movie and walk out and be like, well, we didn't have this guy, so this sucks.
Toby wasn't there. What? Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
going to be like
yeah.
that at all.
I want to just sit and enjoy it and have that experience because, like, when we talked about our rankings and I talked about how I liked Infinity War, the
Hmm.
reason I like it so much is because of the theater experience and how little of it I knew. And
Right.
so I just want to replicate that with every movie from now on, which is not super easy to do, but
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. So you said Tuesday night's the trailer.
Tuesday night, 5 p.m. Pacific time. So
Okay. Cool.
it's gonna
I'm
be
excited.
like at an event in LA, I think.
Okay. Very
So
cool. Very cool.
yeah, very very cool indeed.
It's an
I know.
exciting
I
time to
don't.
be a fan.
It really is, and I said that I tweeted that out on the Twitter yesterday. Like it's such a good time to be an MCU fan. Between
Hmm.
all these shows that we have coming out, all these movies that are coming out, seems like they have so many uh, irons in the fire. As far as
Hmm.
like I said, Kang is floating about in the background, and the Celestials are coming, and we have all these new heroes from the Eternals and the Black Knight and Star Fox and She-Hulk's coming and Moon Knight's coming and all these different
Not to
it's just
mention
exciting.
Fantastic Four, not to
Oh,
mention Dark Avengers, Young Avengers, all the things that they could do in the future. I mean, this is yeah. I can't believe how much there is to look forward to after the Infinity Saga, after how big the Infinity Saga was and how much build up and how much lead up there was to that. How they're
right.
just branching off into so many different directions and getting us excited about different things.
Right, because I mean there was probably speculation that was going to kind of be it, and it was like, well, once
It
you
could
get
have
rid of
easily been it.
it could have, and it was like, well, once you get rid of Cap and Iron Man, and people thought Thor was going to die. It's like, well, what do you do once you get rid of the big ones? But man, yeah, I think they're just going for volume at this point. Like, yeah,
Yes.
you can't replace Captain America. I mean, you did, and you do have, but like Steve Rogers or Iron Man, but you could just pile in as many heroes as possible, and it it really feels like the comics because you would
Mm.
have your Spider-Man comic, an X-Men comic, so on and so forth, and everybody would have their own little battles off to the side and their own volumes and everything like that, and then they'd have these big crossovers, and you get to do that now, and you don't have to take up all this theater space thanks to the magic of Disney Plus. You could just you can hammer us with 4 shows and 4 movies a year and just keep
Right.
our interest right there. And then when you
Right.
finally do, we haven't even talked about Avengers 5, right? Like, who knows what that's going to be like? And there's
Yeah.
so much to look forward to with that. So it's an exciting time.
Yes, it is.
Did
Yeah.
you see there was they were talking about what the Eternals post-credit scenes were going to be, and there was they had almost done a new Avengers lineup, meeting them instead of Star Fox. I almost
See,
wish they would have done that.
that's more of what I thought was going to happen, because we knew going into Eternals that it had a, I don't know how to say, a strong reaction from,
Yeah,
the people who got to see the movie early.
yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why, after having seen it. I mean, I was average excited at best, about these scenes. Like, what's the big deal? Harry Styles is an Eternal. Like,
Well,
I don't
you and
know.
I don't really care about Harry Styles, but he is a pretty big, I
I
guess,
know.
pop culture icon in a way of modern times, I suppose. So
Yeah.
I guess I could see that. I think probably more the Thanos' brother thing is probably what popped the crowd so much. But yeah,
It is interesting. Yeah.
I was expecting an Avengers lineup. I just don't know who it would be.
An Avengers lineup?
Yeah, like who would be the 5 or 6 Avengers that
Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Rhodey.
Strange isn't an Avenger though.
Uh, Not yet.
He's probably not going to be. I mean, you never,
You don't think so?
maybe at some point, maybe an honorary Avenger.
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah. I
assumed.
mean, I don't know. Yeah, he is kind of that. He's the, I don't know, guardian of the sanctum and everything. I don't know if he has time to be on a team.
Yeah, I would have assumed. Yeah, Captain America. Rhodey
Mm.
would have made sense.
Sam, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Banner, perhaps. Maybe
Bucky.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, she's right. Like, the
She's her
capacity
own
that we've seen
thing.
her recently. Yeah, she's her own thing, but she's definitely in the loop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we saw her at the end of Shang Chi. So
Right. She's on call. She's always on
on
call.
call. That's right. She never sleeps.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right,
And
folks.
I
I
feel
think
like Wong is the new director, right? I feel like Wong is the new Fury.
he's like trying to make sure everything is just kosher. He's got everybody's number. And yeah, the team's in flux right now though, for sure. So
Hmm.
we'll see. I'm definitely excited when we get more Avengers level stuff, and I want to see what the team looks like. So
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have to wait that much longer before we start really diving into some new Avengers ideas.
I would say we'll probably see Avengers 5 in 2024 or 2025,
I would say that's not too far off. I think that's about right.
because we
Yeah.
know next year is Thor, Doctor Strange, and Black Panther.
Hmm.
2023 has the Marvels, Ant-Man, Guardians 3, and then an untitled movie that's going to take part, I think, in late 2023. And then there are 4 untitled movies for 2024.
Okay.
So we know Blade is on the horizon. We know Fantastic Four is on the horizon. We know there's going to be a Captain America 4. So that's 3
Hmm.
of the 5 unknown. Maybe one of those is Avengers.
Yeah, it'll be right around the corner.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Oh,
all right. I think that's all we got today, folks. You got anything else you want to throw in there?
no, no, no. It's been a good show.
I think so too. Yeah, I like the free flowing feel of it. Thankfully,
Always
Disney
feels
gave
good.
us something to talk about because I don't know if I
Yeah,
have
they
much
did.
else coming into this week. All right, folks. Well, hey, give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram. Our links are in the show notes below. If you're on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, share our content. If you're on Apple, a 5-star review helps us out a ton. Until next time, folks, we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Keep on
Yeah,
keeping on.
we will catch you later.